Before we highlight the best and most challenging car shipping locations in the state, generally speaking, the best car shipping locations are going to be the biggest cities, followed by those locations on or near interstates. You'll have the quickest and least expensive auto transports from these locations. The most challenging car shipping locations are going to be in remote towns and cities. These are towns and cities that are more than 50 miles away from major cities or interstates. It takes more time and costs more money to ship a car to or from these remote locations. With these general guidelines in mind, let's look at the best and most challenging car shipping locations in this state. All right, as we take a look at the state of Indiana, this is probably one of the most friendly car shipping hubs in the United States. In fact, you might be surprised that a lot of car carriers have their home base in the state of Indiana, and that is because Indiana is a relatively centrally located state in the country, and there are so many interstates that cross through the state. It just makes for an ideal location for car carriers to travel to and from. So with that, the best car shipping location in the state is going to be the state's capital city and the largest city, and that's the city of Indianapolis and the Indianapolis metropolitan area. And as you can see here, there are all kinds of interstates that cross through this metropolitan area. You have I-65, you have I-74, you have I-70, and then you've got I-69 and I-65. Yeah, that looks like a mess, but that's just how many interstates cross through the state. So you kind of see why this is such a friendly car shipping hub in the country and why Indianapolis is the prime car shipping hub in the state of Indiana. Lots of interstates going through that metropolitan area, so it's a breeze for car carriers to travel to and from and through. Other solid locations in the state to ship cars to or from are going to be Fort Wayne, Indiana, and South Bend. When you get to the northern part of Indiana, you want to be as close to I-90 as possible. And I-90 is a very, very busy, well-traveled, coast-to-coast interstate. So anything along or near I-90 is going to make for an ideal car shipping location. So South Bend being right off that interstate, and Fort Wayne not being too far from it make for ideal car shipping locations. And then rounding out the best car shipping locations are going to be those locations here that are just in that Louisville, Kentucky metropolitan area. So like these areas here in Indiana, that's all going to be great locations in the state of Indiana. As we turn now to the more challenging car shipping locations, again, fortunately, there aren't too many challenging locations in the state, but one area that for one reason or another has been challenging for us is in the southern part of the state when you get more than 50 miles north or south of this I-64 corridor. So when you get, right about in here, kind of in here, and like down in here in the very far south part of the state of Indiana, those pockets just can be challenging. And what we mean by that is those transports typically take more time and money than the rest of the areas of the state. So try to avoid those areas if you can, but really the rest of the state is pretty easy to get to and from. To find out what it costs to ship a car to or from Indiana, get an instant quote on our website at www.jnstransport.com.